my Stevie Wonder, and today we're gonna compare aerobic cellular respiration and anaerobic cellular respiration. And for first of all, in aerobic cellular respiration, there's 36 ATPs, and it's divided in three stages. First is glycolysis, which glycolysis then transforms the cell to glucose, and glucose wants to become a pyruvate. So you look at the molecules of glucose. The important one would be the 6 carbons. And the 6 carbons, they invest in ATP to get a phosphate. And from that, it becomes a glucose 6 phosphate. And after that, it invests another ATP to get a phosphate on the other side. So it becomes a fructose 1,6 biphosphate. After that, it splits, so there's one phosphate on each side and one carbon. And after that, it becomes a G3P, which is a glyglutarate 3 phosphate. And after that, it takes a phosphate that's floating around, and it also gets NADH. From that, it becomes a 1,3-diphosphoglutarate. And after that, it gains an ATP by losing a phosphate, and from that it becomes a 3-phosphoglutarate. After that, the phosphate is being reconfigured into the second carbon and becomes a 2-phosphoglutarate. And after that, you can only see the C's, and it becomes a pyruvate. And from that, you gain 4 ATPs and you lose 2. So the net rate is 2 ATP. And after that, the pyruvate wants to go into the mitochondria. So it goes through a link reaction, which then loses carbohydrate and NADH, which is an electron, and it goes into acetyl C2. It also gains CoA, which is an enzyme, and then it adds with oxaloacetate, which is C4, and then it loses the COAT because it was a helper, helping enzyme. And after that, C2 plus C4 together, they make citrate, which is which has 6 carbons. And after that, citrate loses a carbon through carbohydrate and NADH. It becomes ketoglutarate, which is a C5. And after that, ketoglutarate loses a carbon again, but it gains an ATP, loses an NADH, and loses a carbon. After that, it becomes succinate, which is a C4. And after that, it doesn't go lower, it just changes its molecule transfer. And after that, it loses an FADH2 and becomes fumarate. And fumarate is C4, and then fumarate wants to become an oxaloacetate again, so it has to reconfigure itself and go into an NADH and loses an NADH. And from that, you gain 1 ATP. But considering there's there's a pyruvate too, there's also 2 pyruvates, you get another ATP. After that, you have to go to the electron transport chain. It has 4 complexes and an ATP synthase. In the first complex, you use NADH, which is an electron carrier, an electron. It deposits the high level electrons. So, and after that, it goes through the hydrogen ions. And then the second complex uses FADH. It takes FADH2 and uses in complex 3. In complex 3, use FADH2 and use the electrons from complex 1 and complex 2 to push the hydrogen ions. And in complex 4, use the remaining low electrons that were in the other complexes, and you can get an hydrogen and oxygen, so you can make water. And ATP synthase. is a spinny object in the in the electron transport chain, which then produces ATPs. It uses the hydrogen ions that are from the top, and the ADP is inside it. So the ADP gets slapped with the hydrogen ions, which create the ATP through kinetic energy. And after that, you get 36 ATP per second, I suppose. And that's the aerobic cellular respiration. And the anaerobic cellular respiration is through animal and yeast, and you gain only 2 ATP from each. So in the anaerobic cellular respiration, you only get 4 ATP, and in the aerobic cellular respiration, you get 36 ATP. And you can't use 4 ATP just to live on. You will die slowly. And that's all from your Bioblaster. See you, Mr. Sal.